to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today I thought I would do a video for you to get to know me a little bit better. I love watching other people do these videos because I'm quite nosy, and when I start following a YouTuber or a blogger, I always want to know more about kind of their life and who they are as a person. So today I thought I would do something that's not related to fashion, beauty or anything, and I would do the 50 random things about me video, which I've seen a lot of other people do, and I thought it was the best way for you guys to get to know me a little bit better. So without further ado, let's get started. But before that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you already haven't. I upload it twice a week and I would love to have you back on the channel. Please also don't forget to ding the little bell right next to it so that you get a notification every time I upload a new video. So number one, I get so many questions about my ethnicity, and I'm half Indian and half Spanish. My father is Indian and my mum is Spanish. But I was actually born in Madrid, and that's where I went to school and that's where I grew up, and I only came to the UK when I was 18 to go to university, and I actually went to the University of Bath, and I studied business administration, and that was quite a long degree because it had a placement year in it, and ever since I did that placement I have worked in investment banking, and I did that until 2015, which is when I got married. So I am married as well, and we've been married for like 2 years now, and in 2015 when I got married I decided to quit my job and move to Spain to actually organize my wedding, and when I came back I started working in sort of marketing and media and social media and all of that space, and I started to run my own business. And that's when I didn't go back into investment banking, but that's what I did for a long part of my working career. I am currently 28 years old and my birthday is in August. I'm a Leo and I'm very much a typical Leo. Quite hot-tempered. I do get quite feisty in the spur of the moment, but you know, 10 minutes later I will have forgotten about it and all will be forgotten and I will be kind of chilled and relaxed again. One thing that I absolutely cannot live without is chocolate, and I still have milk and chocolate in the morning like little kids, and I love this Nestle chocolate which hardly has any sugar. It's kind of very dark chocolate because dark chocolate is the kind of chocolate I most love, and I still have those because I don't drink any tea or coffee or kind of caffeinated beverages. I also don't drink any alcohol, and I don't smoke, so yeah, I'm pretty healthy like that. Another funny thing is I don't like any kind of sweets other than dark chocolate because I don't really like stuff that's very sweet, and for that reason I only eat apples. That's the only fruit I like. I don't like any other fruit. And they also have to be golden delicious apples, which is a special French variety of apple, and I don't like any other apples but those. Also, for me to eat my fruit, it has to be really freezing cold, because if it isn't really cold, I hate the taste because again, it's sweet. So I like it when it's really cold because there is absolutely no taste to it, and it's just kind of a little bit sweet, but there's no real taste to the apple, because I actually hate everything which has an apple taste to it other than apples. I used to hate fish as a child, but now I absolutely love it, and my mum used to force me to eat it twice a week for all my life while I lived at home, and I absolutely hated it, especially breaded fish. That was my kind of real hatred, which all kids kind of like, but I hated it. I usually get a lot of questions about how tall I am. I am 166 centimeters, and don't ask me how much that is because I don't really understand how measurements go in feet and inches. Talking about movies, I am a huge Bollywood buff. If you don't know what Bollywood is, it is the Indian film industry, and I absolutely love Indian cinema. I used to watch it as a child when I didn't even understand Hindi, and I used to go to the cinema with my dad, and back in the day there were no English subtitles on the films, and I used to watch kind of 3-4 hour long movies because Indian films are very long, and I used to watch them without subtitles, and I used to sit there for 3 hours and I used to learn all the songs off by heart, but I never actually understood what they were saying in the movie, but I still loved them, and until today I still love Bollywood films. I can pretty much watch anything if it comes to Bollywood. My favourite actress as a child was Karishma Kapoor, who was a Bollywood heroine, and I used to love all her films, and I think I've pretty much watched all of them. I also love watching the same movies again and again and again. I think it's because I love kind of the same type of movies, and I don't mind that I know the ending. I just love watching the same movies again and again, and my husband absolutely hates that. I think that was something that started even as a child. I think I went through a phase when I was about maybe 4 or 5 and I loved E.T. and I think I used to watch it every single day when I came back from school, or at least my mother says that. The other movie I have watched about 1,000,000 times is an Indian film called Josh, and it was by Shah Rukh Khan. I don't even like the film anymore, but I went through a summer where I literally used to watch it every day in the afternoon. I have also never broken a bone and I don't have any fillings in my teeth. I wore braces as a child, but unfortunately I didn't wear my retainers when I got my braces taken off, so I had to wear Invisalign again for my wedding because my teeth were all crooked. I also wear glasses and I have quite bad power. I have about 4 and 4.5. I am short-sighted, and for the longest time I refused to wear my glasses outside because I hate wearing glasses and I didn't like wearing contacts. So I just used to walk out with no glasses and I would see absolutely nothing, and I would literally walk past people that knew me and they would wave at me and I just wouldn't even see them. So yeah, that was quite funny amongst my friends. I almost got into somebody else's car once and yeah, that was quite awkward. I absolutely hate exercising. I do it because it's healthy and I know it's good for my body, but I absolutely hate going to the gym and I hate exercising, and I would pick the couch over the gym anytime. I was always really bad at sports in school and I was a real geek. I was kind of obsessed with studying, and my parents used to argue with me because I used to study way too much, but I absolutely didn't mind studying, but I would get notes from them to be able to skip my PE lesson anytime that I possibly could. I have been obsessed with handbags ever since I've been a child, and I remember being a kid and wanting to carry a handbag everywhere, even though I didn't really need one at the age of 4, but I absolutely love handbags, and if ever I need to get a present, it will always be a handbag if I can choose. I suffer from hyperhidrosis, which means that my hands and feet kind of give off a lot of moisture, and literally in exams it was horrible because my hands would be literally with drops of water. It's not actually sweat, it's literally just water because it doesn't smell or anything, and these would just be kind of dripping, and all my exam papers were always kind of soaked in water and they looked like they had literally been thrown into a swimming pool and taken out again. All my friends make fun of me because they say I have really weird feet. I have really long toes and my feet are very, very long and narrow, and they do look quite awkward. So buying shoes for me is an absolute nightmare, which is I think the reason why I love bags over shoes anytime. I'm absolutely obsessed with hands, and it's the first thing I'll notice of a person when I first meet them, and I love kind of manicures and having perfect nails all the time. Chip nails really, really wind me up. I really, really like cooking. It's something I adore, but till the age of 18, I hadn't even made myself a sandwich ever. So I learned to cook completely by myself, but I really, really love it now, although I cannot bake. My natural hair color is completely black, but I've always wanted to go lighter and get blonde highlights, and it hasn't been till a couple of years ago that I was kind of able to achieve somewhat of a color that I actually liked. I can speak 4 languages: Spanish, English, Sindhi, which is an Indian dialect, and Hindi. I'm really not a kind of rebellious or a person who's kind of tried to do things that they weren't supposed to do. I've always been one for following the rules, but I once left a restaurant without paying. It was totally by mistake. I was with my best friend. She'd come to London and we went out for dinner. And we were just kind of sitting and chatting, and we stayed chatting for ages after we finished having dinner. And when we finished dinner, we kind of forgot and we both got up and left, and nobody stopped us. And when I got to my house and she got to hers, I rang her and I was like, "Did you pay?" And she was like, "No, did you pay?" And I was like, "No." So it was so embarrassing. We actually went the next day and paid, and yeah, it was a very awkward experience, but we left the restaurant without paying. When I like a song, I love to hear it over and over and over and over again until I actually hate the song. And my latest one that I've done this with has been Despacito, which I absolutely loved and I was obsessed with. I listened to it kind of straight for 3 weeks without stopping, just on repeat for 3 weeks, and now I actually don't like the song very much. Talking about music, I'm absolutely obsessed with the 90s Bollywood music, lots of singing and dancing around the trees, but I absolutely love it. They are some of my favorite songs. I don't know if it's because I grew up with them, but I absolutely love it. A food I really hate is rabbit, and I don't really know why. I think it's because my mum finds it really disgusting and she kind of put that into my head. And yeah, I really hate it too, but I'm not sure why. My real phobia are kind of rodents, and so rats, mice, anything. And actually when I was in my house in London, in my previous house, I found a mouse, and I actually went and stayed in a hotel for a week until I could find a new place because I just couldn't survive in that house. Like, I have a real problem. Like, they really freak me out. I am a super huge foodie, and I actually got my husband into food as well, and now we both absolutely love it. And a real dream that we have is to go around Europe and do a Michelin star restaurant tour. Something that you might be surprised or not is that I cannot drive. I tried to get my license when I was 18 and I finished school, and before I headed over to uni I tried to do it in Spain, but I actually didn't pass the test because I was trying to park the car and you only have 2 minutes to park the car, and I think I took 2 minutes and 30 seconds or something ridiculous like that, but I failed the test, so I don't have a driving license. When I was in school, my friends and I had a group called the Blaspies, and we were kind of a bunch of friends, and we used to love sitting on a staircase that we had near the auditorium at school. None of them live in Madrid anymore, they're all spread around the world. So I have a lot of international friends, and it was really lovely that they all came together for my wedding because they are literally all over the world. One is in New York, one is in Utah, one is in Venezuela, Mexico, Chile and Switzerland. So unfortunately you don't get to meet very often, but it was so lovely to have them all for my wedding. Something that I cannot stand is loose hair, and I love wearing my hair open when I'm out and about, but as soon as I get home, the first thing I always do is tie my hair in a bun with a clip. My dream is to have a huge walk-in wardrobe in my house one day, an actual room that's actually a wardrobe come beauty room where I can store all my beauty and all my clothes and nicely display them so that I can see everything as soon as I walk into the room, and I don't have to be rummaging about and kind of pulling 20 boxes out to find what's at the end of the cupboard. So that is my real dream, and I hope one day I'll have a house that's big enough to do that. When I was a child, my parents used to call me Cookie, and I have no idea why they used to do that because my mum's dog was actually called Cookie, so yeah, that doesn't kind of bear a good resemblance, but they called me that for the longest time, and I used to get really irritated when I was a teenager and they called me Cookie. On the note of names, I've always hated my name. I never really liked Jasmina, and my mum actually chose that name after watching a film where the main character was a princess called Jasmina, and she really loved it because actually before that she wanted to call me Lauda. Something that I really hate is people touching my feet, and ever since I was a child I always used to say that it used to hurt me when my mum used to cut my toenails. So yeah, I really always hated people touching my feet. It just kind of gives me like shivers and it makes me really nervous, so I absolutely hate going to get a pedicure done. Finally, I always brush my teeth after doing my makeup, which everybody finds really awkward, but I love kind of taking the excess foundation off my lips after I've done my makeup, and I find that brushing is a really good way to do that. So those are the 50 facts about me. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and if you want to find out more about me and you want me to do a Q&A video, then do let me know in the comments below and I would be more than happy to do that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!